There are moments in life when words are too small to carry the weight of what we feel, when explanations fail, when even the sharpest argument cannot capture the depth of our thoughts. It is in these moments that silence rises, not as an absence, but as a powerful presence. Silence is often misunderstood. Many perceive it as weakness, as surrender, or as a lack of something to say. But those who have truly tasted the wisdom of life know that silence can roar louder than any voice, cut deeper than any insult, and heal faster than any apology. Silence is not the absence of answer. It is the answer itself. It is a declaration, a resolution, and a statement of power. In the noisy world we live in today, where everyone is scrambling to be heard, where everyone wants the last word, silence is rare, and what is rare becomes powerful. It becomes meaningful. In the battlefield of egos, the person who chooses silence stands above the fray. They refuse to be dragged into petty squabbles and meaningless drama. They protect their energy and their dignity. There are arguments that do not deserve an answer. There are accusations that do not deserve a defense. There are provocations that do not deserve a reaction. There are betrayals that do not deserve a confrontation. Silence in these moments is not cowardice, it is wisdom, it is maturity, it is emotional intelligence. When you master the art of staying silent when the world expects you to scream, you gain a quiet control over yourself that few ever attain. You stop being controlled by the actions and words of others, and you start living by your own principles. Silence is also a mirror. It forces others to face themselves. When you respond to cruelty, insult, or betrayal with silence, you hold up a mirror to the offender. They're left alone with their words, their actions, their guilt. Without your reaction to distract them or justify them, they're forced to confront the discomfort of their own behavior. Silence is an amplifier. It magnifies the weight of their own choices. It leaves them to wrestle with themselves, and often that internal struggle is far more powerful than anything you could ever say. When you choose silence, you are telling the world that your peace is more valuable than your pride. You are demonstrating that not every insult needs to be avenged, not every wound needs to be exposed, and not every injustice needs a performance. Some things are beneath your response. Some battles are won simply by refusing to fight. But silence is not always easy. It requires strength. It requires the ability to endure the discomfort of being misunderstood. It requires faith that the truth will eventually reveal itself without your constant defense. It requires the discipline to hold back when your ego demands to be heard. Silence in this way is an act of immense courage. It is choosing the harder path for the sake of your inner peace. There will be times when people will provoke you because they want a reaction. They feed off your anger, your pain, your words. Your reaction gives them power. It gives them validation. But when you deny them your reaction, when you refuse to participate in the chaos, you rob them of their power. You starve their need for attention. You retain your control. Silence also has the power to humble those who hurt you. Not immediately, perhaps, maybe not even visibly, but over time, silence creates space for reflection. Without the noise of arguments and explanations, the wrongdoer is left alone with the truth of what they have done. Sometimes the loudest apology is the one that comes after they have sat long enough in the silence you offered them. Beyond conflict, silence has a different kind of power in life. It creates space for understanding. It creates space for wisdom to emerge. It is in silence that we connect deeply with ourselves, that we hear the whispers of intuition, that we find clarity about what truly matters. Noise distracts, silence reveals. When faced with loss, with heartbreak, with disappointment, words often fall short. No explanation can ease certain kinds of pain. In these moments, silence can hold us. Silence can comfort us. A silent presence beside us can say more than 1,000 well-meaning speeches. Sometimes in grief or sorrow, the greatest gift you can offer someone is your silent company. It is a way of saying, I see you. I honor your pain. I am here. Silence is also a teacher. It teaches us patience. It teaches us resilience. It teaches us the difference between needing to speak and wanting to be heard. In silence, we learn that our worth is not tied to how much noise we make or how many people we convince. We learn that validation is an internal process, not an external reward. In relationships, silence can be a test. When misunderstandings arise, when tempers flare, it is easy to shout, to accuse, to insist on being right. But sometimes stepping back into silence is the only way to let healing begin. It gives space for emotions to settle, for perspective to grow. It prevents damage that careless words would cause. It protects the relationship from wounds that might never fully heal. After in ambitions and dreams, silence can be a shield. You do not need to announce your every move, your every plan, your every hope to the world. There is power in silent growth. There is strength in working quietly while others are busy talking. Silence protects your dreams from the noise of doubt and envy. It allows you to build without interference, to focus without distraction. Some of the greatest transformations happen in silence. A seed breaks open in the dark, silent earth before it becomes a towering tree. A caterpillar undergoes its painful metamorphosis into a butterfly in silent isolation. Healing happens silently in the depths of our hearts before it shows up as strength on the surface. True change is quiet. True growth is often invisible at first. Silence is the language of those who have nothing to prove. When you know who you are, when you are at peace with yourself, you do not need the constant approval of others. You do not need to announce your victories or defend your failures. Your life speaks for itself. Your actions speak louder than your words. Your silence becomes your greatest statement. There will be times in your life when you will be accused unjustly, misunderstood cruelly, hurt deeply. Your first instinct will be to defend yourself, to explain yourself, to demand understanding. But pause, breathe, ask yourself, will speaking heal or harm? Will it bring clarity or chaos? Will it protect your peace or destroy it? If the answer is harm, chaos, destruction, choose silence, choose yourself. People may interpret your silence in many ways. They may see it as arrogance. They may see it as guilt. They may see it as surrender. Let them. Their interpretation of your silence is a reflection of their own minds, not your reality. You owe no one your voice. You owe yourself your peace. In a world addicted to noise, your silence will be unsettling. It will make people uncomfortable. It will make them question themselves. Let it. You are not responsible for their discomfort. You are responsible for your own well-being. And sometimes silence will not just be about dealing with others. It will be about dealing with yourself. Sitting in silence with your own pain, your own fear, your own doubts can be terrifying. But it is in these silent conversations with yourself that true healing begins. It is when you stop distracting yourself, stop explaining yourself, and simply sit with yourself that you discover who you truly are.